Good evening and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bluddworth, and as you can see by the graphics, tonight's video is a response to a comment that was made on my channel on an older video that I was doing with Swords and Wizardry. As you may have known if you followed my channel, I had picked up the collector's edition box set off the Kickstarter several months ago. And I had already done a series of 4 videos really going through each of the books and other components of the box set. I'm really pleased with the box set. It's a great resource if you are looking for something that is old school but in a new packaging and somewhat of a new delivery, but really holds true to the original game system that it was really built, to pay homage to. And the system that I'm specifically talking about is the D&D white box. All right, so this is the collector's edition back then. So basically 1974 through about 77, I believe they were reprinting many of these. So it has a number of different prints. But the box set itself is around 74 that it came out, and I do have I have all the original pamphlets that came with it, or booklets, I should say. So I will open this up and basically splay them out here. So I do have the originals, including the reference sheet and such, and since obviously I don't want to fiddle around with this too much and certainly not use it as a play copy, that's where this system really comes into play, where you can capture a lot of the essence of playing that version of Dungeons and Dragons here with this. So this is all written by Matthew Finch, and it's put out or published by Frog God Games. They do an excellent job of it. So when I was thinking, started to realize that I probably have time to fit another game time or game session within my weekly schedule, and I wanted to do something that I hadn't done before, and that is to do a Sandbox style Hex-Crawl campaign, starting it off at very low level and kind of doing the world building as we go along in true Sandbox nature. So this is this is going to be the 5th video in this series, and let me just show you where I'm at right now at this point. So I'm just going to switch views here, and so you should be looking at, so I used Roll20, and I use Roll20 primarily for the character sheets and in this case, the map itself. So I will be producing and saving the Hex-Crawl map on this particular game. Everything else I'm using, I use Discord for audio because it's just much better quality than on Roll20. So Roll20 will be for the visuals and the dice rolls, and then audio for our gameplay, our actual gameplay. So I'm going to jump in here and I'm just going to show you very simply what we have. I don't really want to use the camera here, so I'm going to block that or just cancel that. So this is all that I have set up so far. All right, and that is, I put in the one town here, and I will raise it. So the town is going to be Dolmen Hill, and that's where the player characters are going to start their adventures. And I'll clear out this. I don't see what all of this is here. Something glitchy. But anyway, I just started putting in some land features in and around. So if the players are starting off here, they will at least know of the general terrain features of the surrounding 2 circles of hexes. Now I'm figuring these hexes are going to be anywhere from 3 miles across, and I was debating whether to do them 3 miles, 5 miles, or potentially 1 mile. I think 1 mile is a little bit too small. I was thinking leaning towards 3. So 3 mile range hexes, and then the players would obviously know everything within 6 miles of it. Now, if you see a farm hex like this here, or when they see a farm hex like this here, it doesn't mean that that entire hex of 3 miles is 3 miles of uninterrupted farmland. I mean, there might be some sparse trees here or there, maybe a small orchard, or there will be other features within there, but this is the primary feature, and this is the primary feature that will designate which wilderness wandering monster tables I might use, or other types of events, whether they be terrain features, and then particular hazards that might be encountered in those various terrain features and such. So the way I'm designing this campaign is that the players will be able to travel in one day roughly 30 miles in a day. And so they would be able to travel up to 5 hexes out, and then 5 hexes back within that span of one day. And so now, of course, if they're covering more difficult terrain, that is going to reduce the amount that they can travel, as opposed to if they're traveling on road with mounts of some kind, or even on carts. But overall, it's designed that the PCs will go out, explore, discover, encounter, and then return back to their start point at the end of each day. And as they are expanding out in various directions here, they may discover other settlements, and then they could travel in one day's time to, let's say, a fairly distant settlement, and then stop there for the night. And then they'll have a new area that they have just unlocked that will look very similar to this here. And then we will continue to expand the map as they continue to adventure and explore outside of their current location. So that's basically what I'm looking to do with this campaign, is to just see what happens and to randomly generate within the parameters of the hex type and what it would give. And unlike some other more modern systems, these older systems, they don't necessarily use any kind of a balancing mechanic where first level characters could not encounter something that is 5 hit die or even 10 hit die. The things that can happen in this kind of a system is that you can encounter something that would be drastically more powerful than the player party group can deal with. And so they will learn, they will either learn to, how to avoid or when to run, or they're going to learn what it is to re-roll a new set of characters. That's just the nature of the old school gaming is that sometimes careers were fairly short, adventuring careers. And so what I like about these older systems is that they are very simple, and they require more decision making on the part of the players. And and I've also found that within that simplicity, excuse me, you you end up with more role playing as well, because the character sheet, particularly the character sheet, and the way that it has a very limited number of abilities, players are forced to function more beyond their character sheet. And so I think it just opens it up, that this old school kind of play opens it up to a better, just a better level of role playing in general. So a better level of gameplay, that it just afforded itself towards that goal. So let me just switch back here. So basically, that's my intention. Now, this is a Sunday afternoon game. I'm looking to run it roughly from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I already have 3 players, as you saw on the chart. And I'm looking to have up to as many as 6 players, and 6-player characters to start off with. We can, of course, expand that number after after this group of players, along with their characters, move forward. Now, they, of course, can create additional characters, and first as a backup, but then as a secondary group if we wanted to expand this even beyond that point. But initially, I'm going to stick with 6 players, possibly 7 at the highest level, and then, or highest amount, I should say, and then potentially expand beyond that and see how the campaign goes. Kind of see how this randomly generated kind of gameplay. See how, first of all, I adapt to it, and then secondly, see how the players respond to it. So really excited about it. I hope this is kind of like what you were looking for in a 5th video for Swords and Wizardry. So now I'm going to start getting into, what the gameplay is actually like, and then utilizing various different techniques of role playing just to see how it's different from my already well established AD&D first edition campaign that I'm running very traditionally, very adventure oriented, with a main storyline that's kind of trailing through, that the player characters are pursuing, but also many different side quests that are the possibility as well. That is currently going into its 42nd week, so it's been it's been a long haul so far. We're really enjoying it, and I'm hoping that this experiment for me is equally successful, and really does give both myself as a dungeon master and players a different experience. And so we'll see how that works out. So once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you hadn't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you have any comments, or there's anything that you would like for me to take a look at, please feel free. I try to respond as quickly as I can to requests, and sometimes I get a number of requests, and then one will kind of stand out, and I'll jump on that one, even if it is out of the order in which I had received them, and I apologize for that. If it just happened to be like with this one, I just happened to be doing a Swords and Wizardry campaign idea that I was going to run, and so that's why this one kind of jumped jumped ahead of any others that I was working on. I'm also going to have an upcoming review of the latest adventure written by Venture Satanis that I want to, I want to share with all of you since I do have it, and just wanted to go over it a little bit as well. But other than that, it looks like a good series of videos that I have planned upcoming over the next week and a half, and a great deal of gameplay that I'm looking to get into place as well. My Tuesday night game. Sorry, my Tuesday night game is still going to go on as scheduled, and then next Sunday I'm looking to run Swords and Wizardry with a group of players. I have the minimum I was looking for of 3, and then we'll see. Hopefully, I'll pick up 4 more along the way, and or at least 3 more along the way, and we'll have the full party of 6 player characters ready to roll. So again, thanks for joining. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. If you want to jump in on this game, I am going to link the link the Roll20 in there. So the first 7 players that are in there, you will be locked in for this particular starting round of my Swords and Wizardry Sandbox Hex-Crawl campaign, and I will always keep the rest of you kind of in the stable if I'm going to rotate out players and player characters as well. So again, have a great weekend. Take care.